Visit downtown Atlanta these days and you're sure to find plenty to see and do. The area is chock full of tourist attractions, but tourists are flooding into one venue in particular. According to the United States Geological Survey, about 2/3 of the Earth is covered in water. What happens beneath that water has a great deal to do with the quality of life on the surface. And that's what the award-winning Georgia Aquarium strives to bring across, the story of the ocean. Visitors can dive into 100 exhibits that feature thousands of aquatic species: sea lions, dolphins, African penguins, and manta rays. Some of these animals getting a second lease on life thanks to a variety of conservation programs. It's only fitting that the largest aquarium in North America would house the largest underwater fish, the giant whale shark. Georgia Aquarium also participates in collaborative clinical and field research. The findings help scientists tackle critical ecological challenges around the globe. Managing operations of such a large facility is no easy feat. Even still, Georgia Aquarium COO Joe Handy seemingly has a firm handle on all of these disparate parts. That's thanks to some old, solid training early in his career, as you'll see in today's Executive Profiles.
So tell me about growing up in New York and the steps, the things that got you to be part of this great organization down here.
I didn't intend to work at the aquarium. Early on, I wanted to be an attorney. You know, growing up in New York, you see a lot of your friends argue, and I was the mediator trying to find common ground between two parties. So I aspired to be an attorney. Going through the process of going to school and studying law, I worked at the American Museum of Natural History. And it was just about that time that Bernie Marcus, who's our primary benefactor, was going on a listening tour. It was Bernie Marcus, Jeff Swanigan, and Rick Slagle, and they went and visited every attraction in the world. Going through school, working at the American Museum of Natural History, I had bounced around a number of different departments. And Bernie came back and asked specific questions about the operations of the museum. And I had worked in a number of departments, and they finally said, there's this one guy that's worked in a number of departments here that you should probably talk to get your answers, instead of trying to compile a whole bunch of people to get there. So Bernie was looking for someone that had the skill set of operating a facility that did 3 million people. So one thing led to another, and I came down to be part of the opening team for Georgia Aquarium.
So tell me about, from day one to today, what has it been like for you to be part of this? It's the largest aquarium in the
North America.
Yeah. Tell me what it's been like for you to see it from this idea to where it is today.
It's been amazing. I mean, early on, we knew that we were going to do something big. We knew that we were going to make history. Bernie is a very charismatic individual, and he has a way of inspiring greatness. And just looking at what we did 10 years ago to where we are now, we've seen an increase in hotel stays. We've seen the emergence of a huge construction development in and around the aquarium. And now it continues to be exciting. We're always looking for new things to do. It's a great time to be a fan of the aquarium. We've got a lot of things coming online for 2016. It's just an amazing ride, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Looking over your life and your career so far, who've been the people who have helped shape where you are? Who have been those mentors? Are there people who've really helped guide you to where you are today?
Oh, absolutely. I've been extremely blessed and fortunate to have strong women in my life, by way of my mother, my aunts, my grandmother, my wife, and who has built a strong foundation and keep me grounded. As an adult, I've had the influence of very strong-minded men, by way of Bernie and Mike Levin and some other individuals, my uncles, who have kind of shaped who I am today. So I've been fortunate to have these strong pillars in my life that have kind of kept me in line.
Yeah, I think about Bernie Marcus and his success as a retailer, and how it then translated to running a not-for-profit aquarium. What have you seen, what have you learned from him from that retail side of things that you think has helped the aquarium be what it is today?
His vision and work ethic. I remember when we first opened the aquarium, and we would have these end of the day wrap-up meetings, and they would be about 10 o'clock at night. And I remember just sitting back one day after we opened, the first day we opened, thinking of all that we had accomplished that day and thinking about the number of guests that we had come into our building. And it was pretty successful, our first day of opening. And Bernie said, well, what are you going to do tomorrow?
Right.
And it was that kind of view that allowed me to look at things differently. Great what you did today, but you always have to look at what you're going to do next. And that's something that's part of our DNA at the aquarium. That's what we continue to strive for. What's next? What are we going to do next?
The real challenge for any, whether it's y'all or it's the College Football Hall of Fame or the Museum of Civil Rights, any of those places, is the ability to get those of us who live in Atlanta to come back and be repeat customers.
Absolutely.
How do you accomplish that? Is it this fresh programming and redoing the experience? And
it's looking at what's next.
Right.
You know, when we look at our reach and we look at how many people we've just seen, just over 22 million people in 10 years. That's an amazing feat. Now that we're looking to re-engage our community and be a resource for our community, we have to go out and get interest for people to come back to visit the aquarium. So we start investing in ourselves. We look at doing things like bringing sea lions back.
Right.
We look at having presentations. We look at our impact as it relates to preservation. But one thing we want to be cautious of is that we don't get into a rut of doing things that other places are doing.
Right.
We want to push the bar. And that's, once again, that's a philosophy that's been instilled in us, that's part of our DNA. I'll give you an example. If we would have listened to everyone else, we would never have whale sharks. Everyone told us we couldn't do it.
Why not?
The transportation, the logistics of getting them, building a facility large enough to house them, a number of reasons, a number of obstacles, but we were able to overcome all of those obstacles. And look, we've got 4 whale sharks in our pools.
The name Joe Handy is actually a good name for you, given that I hear you have a love for Harleys.
Yes,
so what
indeed.
do you modify Harleys?
I do.
Holy smokes!
It's therapeutic for me. I like to look at something and see what it could be. So I pick up Harleys that are moderately in running condition, but
right.
need some work, and then I look at it like a blank canvas, and I build and design and tinker with it. And it's something that me and my family likes to do. I've got 4 kids. I've got twin boys. I've got a daughter and an older son. And it's something that gets us together. My boys know their way around the toolbox. My daughter likes to ride.
Right.
My son, he's still trying to figure his way in around a Harley, but all in all, it's something that's therapeutic for me and allows for us to get together and rally around something.
Joe Handy is active in the community, working with organizations like the 100 Black Men of Atlanta and the Metro Atlanta Chamber of Commerce Education Committee. He also helps with the planning and development decisions for Centennial Olympic Park. Next, balance sheets aren't the only thing businesses want to look good. Many also want their premises to look prime and will pay whatever they need to make it happen. Patrick Crosby goes by the numbers to look at the lucrative business of landscaping.